This is Scotch for Dummies, another Thursday night tasting for us. Today we are tasting an international Scotch that I actually picked up when I was on a business trip to South Korea. It's called Scotch Blue
Scotch Le Bleu
Special, age 17. This is so it's a 17-year Scotch, and it is. I had a hard time finding what the actual distillery is that runs this for Scotch Blue.
It's a Korean secret.
Ancient Chinese secret.
But one thing about this is apparently the most popular Scotch in Korea, and it's been specially formulated for South Korea, and they've essentially removed a lot of the smoke from it. So we're expecting a fairly light drink. And we will go ahead and start pouring this out and see what we've got. This bottle was actually bought in duty free and was running about $40 a bottle. So it's kind of the mid-range Scotch. So we'll see what it tastes like.
Nice color.
So,
not bad.
I gotta ask before we get started trying this Scotch, what sorts of drinks do they normally, like what's popular in South Korea? What are they, beer?
Beers are very popular.
Just so I can get an idea of, are they whiskey drinkers? Do they like gin? Is it some kind of vodka?
No, they were mostly Korean targeted beers. One thing that was interesting, because when I was in the duty free in Seoul, I asked about some Japanese scotches or whiskeys, because I know there are several whiskeys that are made in Japan in the Scotch style, wood cask, etc. And
that are good.
And then I was also looking for specifically whiskeys from South Korea. And it turns out they don't make in South Korea. They don't make whiskeys like these with the wood casks and everything. They're a clear, colorless distilled malt. And so I didn't find anything that was made specifically for South Korean markets, and the Japanese selections were very hard to come by there. So
really light, really yellowy. I mean,
it's almost green.
You can see that, the bottle it's a green colored bottle, glass on the bottle, and it does
almost a
whole lot
green
of color
tint
there.
It's very
So
light.
look at it.
Not a whole lot of nose. It's very.
I can't see that.
I don't smell smoke.
Not at all.
Because there isn't any.
They removed it,
I
right?
did remove it. So
I don't
they
even
filtered it.
really get a whole lot of like oak or wood notes. There's not vanilla really. I mean, it's just a really mild.
It's light. It's gone in a heartbeat. I mean, the second you swallow it, the flavor is gone. There's nothing there. It's like it evaporates on your tongue.
But it also doesn't have that like hot taste to it. It's not. I don't know what the proof is on this. If it's in Korean or not, but
No,
40. So it's 80 proof bottle. It's very light.
So I'm not getting much honey. Maybe more honey than caramel.
It reminds me of something I can't.
I get a little more like. I get some flower, like hibiscus or something along those lines. So I mean it's got a very light nose and a very light palate, and the flavor does not linger.
I get a little bit of alcohol heat on it, but
Gunga galunga. That's what I want to say when I taste that.
Gunga galunga.
so I'll add a drop or two of water and see what it
What's going
does
on
to
with
it.
this, man?
It's got a little heat at the end though. It kind of sticks
To me, it's
just a very
the
little bit.
lightest Scotch I've ever had. There's nothing there. It's like
Yeah.
it evaporates
I mean,
before I can
It's
switch
almost like an
on.
Irish whiskey.
It doesn't even
Canadian
really
whiskey.
compare to like a bourbon or anything like
Yeah,
that. I mean,
exactly.
it's
It's like CC. It's exactly what that is.
it's so light.
It's like CC with a little bit like.
Well, that
Scotch
softened the
flavor.
aroma up quick. It just 2 little drops out of that straw, and
It does roll pretty well in the glass though, as far as
It's the same to
beating.
me.
Yeah. I mean, it's really not a bad drink if you're just looking for something light. Like this would be great if you were sitting outside on a hot summer day and you didn't want like a really heavy whiskey, but you just wanted something to kind of sip a little bit. This would be okay. But if you're looking for something that's got a little more body and substance to it, this probably isn't a good choice for me.
not going to Korea for the Scotch.
No.
And that was what I found there. Just based on the wall we have here, this is not not in the high-end category.
And that's fine. It's cool to
Yeah.
find something that they're drinking over there, though. This
Yes.
is popular over there. This is the
Exactly.
number one Scotch. So, okay,
You know, for my palate, I like more of the smoke. I like the lingering taste, and this doesn't have either of those really.
We'll drink the bottle. We'll enjoy it.
We'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
And it's a
absolutely.
$40 bottle for a 17-year Scotch, so your price per year is pretty good on that.
And they shipped it all the way from Scotland to South
It
Korea.
is,
so
it
that
is a true blended Scotch whiskey, so it is made in Scotland.
Let's do a review. What you got?
What do you got?
I'm gonna give it a 1. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. You know, does it have the things that I think of when I think of having a glass of Scotch? No, it does not. But I can understand for that market, if they're mainly beer drinkers in that market, that this would be something that would appeal to somebody that's more of a beer drinker. They just want something light. You know, it doesn't have a lot of alcohol. It doesn't have a lot of smoke. It doesn't have a lot of overpowering flavors. It'd probably be a good Scotch for somebody to just, you know, if they just wanted to try something. This would be a good one to have on your bar for somebody who's never had Scotch before but wants to try it. You know, and maybe has never had liquor before. And wants to try
Or
it.
if they're coming switching over from a Canadian whiskey or an Irish whiskey and they want to try out what a Scotch.
Yeah.
This is going to be real close to that, so it's not a big jump.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could bridge a gap, I guess. But if you're a Scotch drinker, this probably isn't going to be a bottle you're going to want on your bar.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to ding it much more than the 1. I was going to say a half, but it doesn't. I don't dislike it, but it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, honestly, it's not even a drink that I would go out of my way to get because there's just nothing there. It doesn't give me anything. There's no enjoyment. There's no dislike, but there's just no.
There's nothing there that's Scotch.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and that's what this is about. That's what I'm about is the Scotch. So I'll stick to the 1 and be nice.
Well, I'm gonna go half. I think it's okay. I think you guys nailed it. in
Lumberyard.
the reviews. I'm not a big fan of it. It is something like my dad would pour like when he get home from work, UCC and Coke or something like that. So I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna drink anymore, to be honest with you. But it's a half. It's a half for me at best.
Okay, Timmy.
I'd give it a 1. It is a light Scotch. It is
Should come with a
probably
free
good
cup
for
of soup.
blending.
That's true.
You know, I give it a 1. It's a good experience.
Absolutely. I mean, it came all the way from Korea. I'm glad you brought it.
Yeah, exactly. So sláinte, you know.
Sacre bleu! Oh! Oui.